Welcome back to Homework Up with Miss Gore. Today we're going to be talking about our Unit 10 Day 1 homework, and we're talking about different forms of our quadratic functions. So I'm going to take this quadratic right here, which happens to be in standard form right now, and I want to take that and I want to write it in factored form or root form, and I also want to write it in vertex form. So the first thing I'm going to do to write it in factored form is I'm going to factor it. So I can factor this into two binomials. I know that I have an x squared, so I know I have an x and an x. And I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to 3 but add to 4. So those two numbers I'm looking for are plus 3 and 1. So 3 times 1 multiplies to 3, adds to 4. So that is my factored form. Now, if I graph that, or if I solve it and I want to try to find the roots, remember that I'm setting both of these equal to 0. So I have x plus 3 equals 0, x plus 1 equals 0. So my roots are -3 and -1. Now I want to talk about my vertex form. So my vertex form is what's going to help me find my vertex, or my turning point of my graph. And remember, the process that we're going to be using to find the vertex form is our completing the square. So when we are completing the square, we first need to move our c value. So I have a y minus 3, and remember to include your blanks, equals x squared plus 4x plus a blank. So when I complete the square, I know that I'm looking for a perfect square trinomial. My variable here is x, and so I take my b value and I cut it in half. After I cut it in half, I square it. Oh, not a 2, silly me. I'm going to square that, and I'm going to add 4 to both sides, giving me a y plus 1 on my left-hand side. I now need to move the 1 to the other side, giving me y equals x plus 2 squared minus 1. Now remember the vertex form. So this is my vertex form right here. This is y equals x plus 2 squared minus 1. Now if I ask you what the vertex is, remember I'm looking for the h and the k value. And remember that in the formula we have a minus in there. So my vertex is going to actually be -2, -1. So -2, -1 is going to be my vertex. In number 2, I am starting already in vertex form. Okay, so I'm starting in vertex form, and I need to first go into standard form. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to expand my x minus 2 times another x minus 2 minus 16. Now, you can choose to use the box method, double distribute, use the happy tomato, whatever you want to do so that you can figure out what these two binomials multiplied together will be. So I have 4 here, minus my 16. So this is y equals x squared minus 4x minus 12. So there's my standard form right there. Y equals x squared minus 4x minus 12. Now, from my standard form, I can go into my factor to my root form by factoring this. So y equals, and now I want to factor my expression, and then I'm going to leave this one up to you to finish. Number 3, I am starting in factored form. Okay, so I'm starting in my root form here. And I first want to recognize what are my roots. So my roots here, remember I'm going to negate my values. My roots are 2 and -8. Now to find standard form, remember I'm going to double distribute or use my box method or my happy tomato, and I'm going to get my parentheses gone. And for my vertex form, remember that you are completing the square. I'm going to let you finish that homework. Oh, I can't spell it all. S-Q-U-A-R-E. All right, so there's your little hint on how you're going to finish that problem. Have a great day. I will see you soon.